Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for our free IELTS class. And this is the fourth class that I'm taking now. Our class was we did on reading, and then we already have taken one on writing. This is second class on writing as well. And today I'll show you one model essay, and then I'll give you a few additional tips also. And in the end, I'll provide you a checklist. Once you finish your essay, how you should determine if you have done justice to your essay or if you have done really good task to achieve high score. So once again, thank you for coming and thank you for joining. Those who miss classes today or those who want to repeat the class, I'll be putting this class on my YouTube channel. So kindly get connected there. So let's get going, everybody. So my name is, as you know, Faraz Bogio. I'm PhD from University of Sussex. So let's have an overview. What's this IELTS writing task? And then we'll specifically go to IELTS writing task 2, which is essay writing. So for academic, you'll be given 60 minutes to write two tasks, right? There'll be two tasks. They are called task 1 and task 2. In task 1, you are required to write or convert what you see visually on the paper into sentences, into words. So you might see a graph, a chart, a table, or a diagram, and you should write at least 150 words. So you should target a little more than 150, because sometimes you copy words from the question and they are not counted as your words. So you should go to 160, 165 also. And the other reason is the other reason of going beyond 150 is because they want to see your language skills. So you should provide them sufficient sentences, sufficient material so that they can evaluate that you can write in more than one sentences, more than one types of sentences. Like you know how to write a complex sentence, compound sentence, complex compound sentence. If there is need of writing in modal verbs like can, could, so that will also aid into your band score. So you should go beyond 150 to ensure that you have used sufficient language so that you can be judged on the parameters, which we'll be discussing in a while. So what you will be doing, you'll be writing key features, trends, and you will provide summary. So you'll not be writing everything that you see. You'll have to decide what is important thing to be discussed and what is it that can be omitted. So make wise decision and then write accordingly. Write only what is important. Okay, so write key features. Do not write everything, and then determine trend. And we've already talked about IELTS task 1. Please go to the class to check that on my YouTube channel. But then I'm just providing you overview. Then writing task 2. So you're given 40 minutes for that. And then, as you can see, you have to write 250 words. Time given for this task is 40 minutes. So that means it has got more weightage. So you must give more importance to this than you would give to task 1. And 40 minutes should be divided like this. 5 minutes should go for planning, and 30 minutes for writing, and 5 minutes in the end for checking. Do not spend all 40 minutes for writing. Number 1. Number 2, please do not think, write as you think. You should compose sentence in your mind, and then write on the paper, or make a very solid outline so that you can convert that outline into sentences. So if you do not make outline, there'll be so many things that could go wrong. Spelling could go wrong, grammar could go wrong, coherence and cohesion could go wrong. So always plan essay before it actually comes on the paper. And you should write at least 250 words. And once again, you should go beyond 250, because if you copy words from question, from prompt, they'll not be counted. So write 260, 270, or 280 is also okay, but do not go beyond that because you don't have sufficient time for that. And if you write more, then there is possibility you'll be making more mistakes. Like if you make mistakes in every 3-4 sentences, then if you write more sentences, there are chances you'll be making more mistakes. So please do not overwrite. Do not write more than 280 words. That will be too much. So try to limit somewhere between 260 to 75 should be an ideal number, right? And the topics given to you will be argument against or for the topic, and then explain a statement. There'll be a statement, and you'll have to explain that. You'll have to illustrate it. You'll be providing your overview of two conflict views. There will always be a controversial topic where you would like to take sides, but then don't take sides until and unless you have spoken about both the sides. So keep this in mind what I'm talking about. When I come back, I'll talk about this in a little detail. So express the extent of your agreement or disagreement. They'll ask you how far do you agree. So you will not simply say, I agree with this or I agree with that. You will definitely say you agree completely, partially, or you agree somewhat. So you have to show extent of your agreement, right? So remember that if you don't do that, you're not answering the question well. So this is the overview. Let me repeat. 60 minutes overall, two tasks are there. You'll be spending 20 minutes on task one and 40 minutes for task two. In task one, you write 150 words, and in task two, you write 250 words. In task one, you are given visual information, and you have to convert that visual information into sentences. And in task two, you are given a controversial topic. You have to write for and against it. You'll be writing both the sides, and then you'll be giving opinion also. So you can give opinion in introductory paragraph, or you can also give opinion in conclusion, but you make sure you clearly state your opinion. Do not assume that you have spoken one or the other side of the argument and examiner will determine what your point of view is. No, say that very clearly. Say that I believe, and then whatever you believe. I hope I'm making sense so far, everybody. Cool. Okay, good. Let's move on. And what you should do, you should adopt certain strategies. Number one, you should read the task question carefully, right? Very carefully look at the task, brainstorm and note down your ideas on the paper. So as soon as question paper comes in front of you, start writing, brainstorming ideas and how you will write. What will be your main idea? How you will support that? What is additional comments? So make the list of that, brainstorm. Plan your essay by selecting ideas from step two. So that is ideas that you have taken. Maybe you wrote 3, 4, 5 ideas. So you don't have to write all those ideas. Choose what are the best ones, right? So when you write, maybe you'll write more, but then make a decision what ideas need to be included in the main essay, right? In the main part, in the writing part. And write your essay with a pencil. The reason for writing with a pencil is that if you make mistakes, you can erase it, you can correct it. If you make mistakes with ballpoints, you'll have trouble of erasing it, deleting it, canceling it. So write it with pencil. That will make your writing neat and clean. I know we have not been writing with pencil since long. I think we wrote as children, but we are not writing with pencil anymore. But for IELTS writing tasks, you'll really have to start practicing through pencil, right? Review and improve your essay. It's really, really necessary. Do not just produce a draft and submit. Please understand the importance of proofreading, because when you proofread, you can check for your grammar, spelling, maybe sentence structure. So these or punctuation. So these things play a very important role in making your writing. It's absolutely acceptable. Yes, pencil writing is acceptable in IELTS. In fact, they used to give, before COVID, they used to give pencils in exams. And in all the countries where I've given exams, in Pakistan, in China, or in England, they provided stationery. When I've attempted 2 times IELTS in Botswana, here where I am now. but they do not provide stationery. It's probably because after COVID precautions, they have changed the rules, so everybody is supposed to bring their stationery. So you must take your pencils with you, pencils, sharpener, eraser with you, right? But I'll give you more tips of what you should be carrying to the exam. So we'll have another class, but for IELTS, yes, definitely take your pencils and practice with pencil as well. Okay, so review, that's really important. And spend 15 minutes for task one. Why? Because you should spend 2 minutes for checking, and checking means um, reviewing your essay, making sure that you don't have mistakes, spelling, grammar, punctuation mistakes. And 3 minutes you should spend on preparing what to write, in making an outline, right? So do not spend all 20 minutes on writing. Planning is more important part than writing. And let me repeat before I go to the next slide, before I give you more tips, please do not write as you think. You should finish your thinking job before writing. That will organize your essay well. That will make your essay compact, logical, right? Any question, guys, till now? May I know the difference between computer-based or paper-based? In terms of assessment, there is no difference, but then you'll have to get used to typing instead of writing. You can make notes there as well. There's no difference as you can make notes on paper. So it's just ease and comfort that you can have, right? So you can choose paper-based IELTS or you can choose computer-based IELTS. It won't make difference as far as assessment criteria is concerned. That's entirely your own comfort, the way you feel about writing it. Okay. But here in Malaysia, I can't find paper based. Then you can definitely go for a computer based. That'll still be okay. And I think we are more used to doing things through computer these days than we are doing on. So I suggest you that you should go for it. I mean, if I'll go for IELTS now, I'll go for computer based. All my IELTS have been in paper based, but now I'll go for computer based, and the reason is simple, because I'm writing quite a lot these days. We are writing quite a lot these days. It's easier to do that. So that's what I'll suggest you. Okay. So if there's no option, then definitely go for it. Okay, makes sense? Any follow-up question? Or anything that you would like me to answer? I'm confused in general or study purpose. I'm not sure which one should I. The answer of this will come. What is the purpose of IELTS for you? If you want to do any academic job in Australia, then definitely you should go for academic IELTS. For immigration purpose, for unskilled labor, you should go for IELTS general. If you want to go with your spouse, then also they will require you to do general IELTS training. So understand what their purpose is and then choose your essay according. So let's focus on writing essay also. And once this finishes, I'll give you time in the end and then we can discuss everything that you have. So right now, let's focus on writing. Let's understand this, and then if you have any question beyond writing essay, then I'll definitely discuss afterwards. Okay, so let's go. So now, how you should structure your essay. Essay has three parts: introduction, main body, and conclusion, right? So for IELTS essay, sometimes the topic will require you to write 3 body paragraphs, right? But most of the time, there'll be 2 body paragraphs. What I suggest my student is that practice with 2 body paragraphs. So it means in total 4 paragraphs. That is easier for you to handle. All types of questions can actually be written in 4 paragraphs. So introductory paragraph, number one. What you should do in introductory paragraph, paraphrase the question. So whatever question is given, rewrite that in your own words. Do not copy the words. If the word in the question says school, you should write institution, educational institution, right? University, right? So think of words. If the question carries a word punishment, you should write penalty, right? Fine. So you should go beyond what is apparent there. You should use synonyms. So paraphrase the question that is being asked. So do not copy words. And also give your opinion if it's asked questions. Always give your opinion two times. One in introductory paragraph and in the end in summary as well. So you should give your opinion more than one times so that it should clearly indicate that, okay, that's your opinion. And you should be consistent in your opinion. Don't forget what you said in introduction and don't change that. Like, for example, if you are favoring children's using computer in classes, I completely agree that children must use computers in classes. Then say that same thing in conclusion as well. Don't change your mind after developing two paragraphs. So whenever you write your conclusion, I'll suggest you look back at the introduction and see what you have written and then be consistent. Any question so far? Okay. Now, as far as main body is concerned, you'll write two paragraphs. So each paragraph will contain one main idea. And then after that main idea, you will explain that. Whatever your idea is, explain, give reason for that. Like, for example, you say children must be allowed to use computers in classes. This is the main reason for this is now you're explaining it. So the main reason for this is because through computer they can search words which they don't know, they can collaborate with each other, right? So this is explanation. For example, sometimes teachers give tasks to students which they cannot solve unless they take help of internet. So what you'll do, you'll take help, you will give example of that, right? You will give example. So let me give you structure one more time if you're writing it down. Number one, main idea, whatever your idea is, that will be first sentence. Second sentence should explain that, should elaborate that. Third sentence, give example so that we feel convinced that, okay, whatever you're right, whatever you're writing, whatever you're saying is believable. And then you give additional examples as well, because sometimes we can't be convinced with one example. So maybe you'll use a word in addition, moreover, furthermore, and then you give additional examples as well, right? And then if there is, but do not go beyond 5 or 6 sentences in your body paragraphs, because as I said earlier, you have very limited number of words to write. So target plus minus 75 words for each paragraph. Right? Now, let me tell you one more thing. Let me tell you, essay writing is actually a kind of a trial or is kind of a case that you're trying to prove, and then you're giving judgment on the basis of that. So how do we present things in trial? How do we present our case? So what we do, we develop a thesis, we develop an idea, then we give supporting arguments on that, isn't it? Or we give examples of that. So you have to take essay as a trial. You have an idea, now prove that idea. Give proofs, give evidence, right? So at least there must be one evidence in each body paragraph. Am I making sense, guys? Are we clear? You don't have to, learning vocabulary, you have to read a lot, you have to make your own dictionary, word list, practice on regular basis. So you really need to have more words, okay? Cool. I hope I'm clear so far whatever I'm saying. If there's any question that you want me to answer, please, you can write it down and we can talk about it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Now, finally, conclusion. So in conclusion, you'll say the same thing. You'll rewrite the question that you wrote again, but you'll use synonyms, you'll use other words, and then you may include your opinion. If not may, you must include opinion if it's asking. And then optional is including solution, prediction, results, or recommendation, right? Please remember these 4 words. They are going to be helpful for you. Maybe your last sentence can be a solution. If this happens, this should happen. So you'll use conditional sentence. That'll give you additional benefit. Examiner will give you better band if you can use conditional sentences also. Using conditional sentences, compound complex sentences is advanced level of English. So if you can do that, we'll get better band. Prediction or result, as a conclusion, or you can recommend also that how things should happen. If children will be allowed to use computers classes, they will learn better. Maybe something like that. I'm just giving an example, right? So let me read okay, Amira just say this. So any other question, guys, so far that you want to ask? Any comment, any additional remark? If it's clear, then I can move on to the next slide. All right, so far so good. So let's move to the next slide. So I think I skipped one slide. Let me go back to the slide. I don't know how I missed it. Okay, skipped this one. These are some tips that I want to give you. These are 9 tips, although I have talked about them directly or indirectly, but then systematically, let me give you these tips one more time. Number 1, analyze the question carefully. Please, please, please read more than once. If you are not good at reading or comprehending question with one reading, spend more time reading. Understand the question.
ये कर रहा है हाँ इसका
All right. So please, as soon as you come to the class, kindly mute yourself. Okay, mute your mic. All right, analyze the question first. I gave example to some of my students last time that I made one really, blunder when I was making my outline. But luckily, when I started writing, I saw I was making a wrong outline, but then still it cost me time. The question was mental health is as important as physical health, and we had to argue against or for it. What I we get nervous in exams, and I actually got very nervous on that exam. I saw the question health, and then I thought he is asking us to compare health and wealth. So my outline was okay, health and then wealth. And when I finished writing, I looked at the question one more time. My goodness, I wasted my 3-4 minutes on making a bad outline. Then I had to correct it, but then wasting 2-3 minutes matter a lot during. Okay, now we have got a few people who have asked me something. Clear, Yusuf says, and okay. Physiological writing taste of our mind, sir. Can we say physiological writing taste of our mind? Can you repeat this question, please? I don't exactly get it. What means? Okay, and academy and academy of form. Yes, we are talking about it. Yes, we are definitely talking about it. So plan your essay. So please do not write directly. As soon as question comes, do not start writing. That'll never give you good marks. That'll never give you a good band. Always plan your essay first and then write. And even in real practice, like in practice sessions, you should plan first and then compose your essay. Do not assume as you'll write, you'll think, and the planning will happen. No, that doesn't happen. That can never happen, to be honest. If it happens, it will be very rare, and that'll cost you bad. So don't do that. Create your essay before writing it. Stick to the topic. Whenever you write a sentence, especially whenever you write first sentence of body paragraph, look at the topic again. Are you addressing the question? Sometimes what happens, we look at the topic and we have background knowledge, and then we go on writing. Like sometimes whatever we ask students, they will answer what they know. Like that famous famous joke about essay writing, that a student memorized only essay on football. So teachers asked him to write on cricket, but then he said that one day we were watching, his teacher asked him to write essay on football, but he only memorized essay on cricket. So he wrote it like this, that One day, my father asked me to play TV, and on the TV, we were watching football match, but football looked boring to us. And then when we went out and started playing cricket, cricket is a game, and then he went on writing everything about cricket. So, you don't create a scenario and write what from your memory. You can't write from memory, to be honest, right? So please do not give. And if you did not understand my joke, I'll explain it later somewhere. Okay? Because it's a longer joke, so I don't want to waste my time. I mean, your time. Okay, so use formal language. And by formal language, do not use words which don't mean anything. Words like stuff, things, like, do not use words. Even if it's a descriptive paragraph, do not write words like good, bad, great. Write, describe the words, right? Learn descriptive vocabulary. For example, how this person looks, he looks good, doesn't mean anything. Go beyond that. How he looks, he's tall, he's short, he's got this color, he's got this kind of clothes. So it describes things instead of just labeling them with the words which will not have clear meaning. So avoid words like good, bad, fine, typical, stuff, things. I mean, these are just a few examples that I'm giving you, right? Things, there are many people who like these things. Things doesn't have any meaning, so do not write that. There are many people who do not like this, the kind of food which is cooked on coal. So it's more descriptive. It's a lot easier to understand. So think of words that can be visualized easily, right? And then use formal words, which means do not use colloquial vocabulary. Do not use language informal, right? Okay. So think essay, you're writing essay to somebody who is in a superior position. I mean, if I have to talk from a colonial perspective, I mean, if I have to use the words of colonial nature, then suddenly you're writing to master. So take it that way, very respectfully, very formal words, proper punctuation. Don't make mistakes. You're writing it to boss, in other words, if that's easier for you to understand. Am I making some sense, guys, so far? Up to number 4. Okay, cool. Okay, thanks. Now let's move on to number 5. Use a range of vocabulary. Please do not repeat words. Think of synonyms, and ideally, you should not use any word more than 3 times. If you use any word more than 3 times, it means you'll be scoring very low on vocabulary. So think of synonyms, use variety of words. Okay, then use a variety of words to express your ideas. Use paraphrasing, right? For the question, you have to paraphrase. Do not write the same question. Use different words. Organize your ideas into paragraphs. So do not write just one smooth introduction, body paragraph. Give a gap. Give the gap of a line between paragraphs. You must use example for all the arguments. At least there should be 2 examples. One example in one body paragraph, one example in second body paragraph. Do not use examples in introduction and conclusion. There we don't need. But in both body paragraphs, there must be examples. And if you have used word like for example in first body paragraph, do not use for example in the second body paragraph. Instead, use to illustrate, for instance, such as. This will show your vocabulary, right? You'll get marks on vocabulary. So if you've used a word like moreover, furthermore, do not use same words again. Use in addition or additionally. So use different types of words. Okay, cool. And let me see. Okay, cool. It makes sense. Use examples. Keep it concise. Please, please, please write in sentences. Do not write one sentence of one paragraph. Many people, when they start writing, they keep rambling. They keep going from one comma another. No, Therefore, I'm saying plan your sentence before you write it, so that you should know, okay, I'm writing this idea, this thing, this element, this argument in this sentence. So when that is over, put full stop. Do not just keep putting comma and go on expanding it. Don't do that. Manage your time well. Uh, 40 minutes will go like jiffy, very quick. So you should plan it well so that you have sufficient time for your proofreading. And I have already told you it's very important that you must proofread your essay. Any question, everybody, from this slide that I have just discussed? No? Okay, then let's move on. So we discussed these strategies. We have already discussed this. Okay, now here is a task for you. I'll give you a few minutes to read the task, and then if you can make an outline, please make an outline also. Although I won't give you sufficient time for outline right now, but when you do this again after watching it on my YouTube, I'll ask you to pause it, make an outline, and then I'll show you a model essay. So far, just read this topic, and so that we can talk about it. I'll show you one model after you have done it. For improving vocabulary, read more, listen more, make your own word list. As soon as you encounter any new word, write. And please remember, for learning words, do not just learn its meaning, learn its usage and also its pronunciation, right? Don't, and I'll suggest you do not fix any word with translation, because translation fixes the meaning. And sometimes words have shades of meaning. Words have first meaning, second meaning, third meaning. So if you fix one meaning with translation, you can have misunderstanding. So go for definitions, first definition, second, third definition. Sometimes words have more than one meaning. So learn how to use it, practice it. Okay, let's come back to the question that I asked you. I asked you to look at this prompt, this question, what it is asking. There are two sides. As I said earlier, there will always be two sides and the topics will be controversial. So it says, some people do not allow their children to participate in games, sports, or competition unless everyone gets a prize. So this is one side of the argument. Others think that children must learn to deal with winning and losing in order to be fully prepared for life. There is another side of the argument. So what examiner is asking you, discuss both these views and give your opinion. For this kind of essay, I asked my student to just indicate that you will discuss both these views and will give opinion in the end. So you will develop one opinion, you'll develop another opinion, and then in the end, you will take side that where you stand. You stand with the first one or you stand with the second one, right? It is compare and contrast. This is actually two sides of the argument. It's not exactly, let me think if it's comparing games. Maybe, I mean, comparing can also be said, comparing two ways of approaching to sports, one just for prizes, the other for learning a lesson from that. So yes, in a way, it can be taken as that way. Right? So now let's see how this essay, I've developed this essay. I'll give you one example. So as I said earlier, you can first put this in a question form. Sorry, you have to paraphrase it, and paraphrases can be in many ways. I have put this same topic in a question form, which is still okay. You don't have to do it always, but one of the ways. Should young learners only engage in physical activities and contests that offer rewards? Or should these activities also teach them about facing success and failure? Right? I have paraphrased and I gave both arguments, both sides of the argument. This essay will explore both perspectives before presenting a conclusion. Although I have not given my perspective, my opinion, but at least I have indicated that I'm giving it. So examiner would know that I'm aware I have to give opinion, and that opinion will definitely come in the end. Then what I have done, let me take my, then what I have done, I have developed this sentence. Participating in sports events brings several advantages, right? So just participating, I'm talking about. Though first, it serves as a strong motivator, encouraging more people to participate in competition. For instance, my niece received a prize in a running competition. It spurred her to engage in other activities with potential rewards. Additionally, winning creates a lasting memory. Personally, whenever I catch sight of the trophy I earned in a debate competition, it fills me with joy and a sense of achievement. So I am valuing prize as a motivator, right? And I'm giving example also. Then I'm giving an additional also, so that I can convince the reader that what I'm saying is believable. But then another, however, sports competitions offer valuable lessons that extend beyond mere rewards. So here I'm talking about reward is not the only reason that these competitions should be there. One crucial lesson is that participation holds a greater significance than the actual reward. Furthermore, while rewards provide temporary happiness, lessons learned from these experiences have a lasting impact. In real life, success does not always actually, for example, here there should have been a word, for example. Yes, that would have made it more clear. For example, in real life, success does not always come with an immediate award, and encountering failure is an inevitable part of life. As a result, there should have been connection as well here. Sports events help prepare children to face both success and failure with resilience, right? Then in conclusion, participating in sports with rewards can indeed be beneficial. Nevertheless, now here's my opinion. The primary objective should be to utilize these activities as opportunity for children to learn to handle both victory and defeat. So success and failure. So I've used synonyms. I have reiterated my opinion here. Schools should therefore prioritize teaching children how to navigate success and failure rather than solely focus on rewards. So the reason for presenting this model in front of you is that you should understand how structure works, how template works. Number one, paraphrase. Number two, either give your opinion clearly or at least hint that you're giving it. You will be giving it. Then one main idea, explain, then example, then additional example or additional argument. Then second side of the argument, then explaining it, then giving it example of that. If there is an additional example, give additional example of that or additional argument. Then in conclusion, repeat the question. This is the template that you should be practicing on. I'll provide you template in a while. Give me just 1 second. Let me look at this question. Okay, cool. I hope it's making sense now. If it does, awesome. Okay, cool. Now let's convert this into a template. So what was it? This will be this is the outline that you should check with you and practice according to this. I mean, I'm not saying this is the only way of writing essay. There are so many ways. This is one of the probably easiest ways that you can handle your essay. So paraphrase a question, state your opinion on the issue, give a brief overview of the main points you will discuss, right? Optional, good idea if you can do it. So 2 sentences or 3 sentences should be sufficient for your introduction. Body paragraph 1, state the main point of your first argument. There will always be two arguments. So first argument, provide evidence to support your argument, right? Explain how your engagement relates to the topic. So give further explanation how topic is connected, right? And then second paragraph, same thing. State the second point, main point of your second argument, provide evidence. Please do not just state. Evidence is important. As I said earlier, writing essay is like pleading a case. The other word for essay is trial. It's a trial that you are in, and you are supposed to defend your argument. And in conclusion, summarize the main points of your essay, restate your position on the issue, conclude with a call to action or a prediction. That's it. Do you want to clap for me for telling you this in so clear manner? Okay, thank you so much, guys. If it's clear for you, that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted. Okay, so we are moving towards the conclusion of our class. So let me give you a few additional tips. Use formal language. I've already told you, you do not use words which do not describe the scenario clearly. So avoid slangs, contractions. Yes, do not use I don't do it, right? I do not do it. Okay, this can't be done, right? I cannot done. Why? Because contractions are features of spoken English. You can use it, can't, don't, shouldn't, wanna, gonna, but when you write, go, want to, write, complete structure. Okay, use variety of words. Do not use one word more than 3 times. If you change the form of a word, for example, realize, realizing, to realize, is still you are using different words. If you have to use same words, at least change its form. That will still give you marks on range of vocabulary. Range of your vocabulary will be nice, will be accurate, not nice. Use paraphrasing, use examples and evidence. So, right, guys. Now I'll be providing you a checklist. Checklist is based on the criteria that examiners use to give you bands. So, task response, try 250 words, 250 to 300. 300 can be too much, but 280, somewhere in between, right? The task needs to be clearly identified. For example, it's opinion-based, it's advantages, disadvantages, it's a problem and solution. You need to understand that. And you need to clearly state your opinion in introduction and conclusion. And top paragraphs need to be related. They should look coherent as a whole. That'll give you marks on task response. Secondly, coherence and cohesion. Paragraphs need to be well connected. There should be introduction, body, conclusion. That's what makes a good essay. And examples are given, reasons are given, results are given. Okay, and punctuate properly, and sentences need to be linked properly with linking words such as moreover, furthermore, in addition, on the other hand, in fact, indeed. These are the words which will help you make establishing connection. Pronouns can also be used. So learn how to connect sentences, use connecting devices. And then lexical features. So as I said, do not use same words more often. You have to use topic specific words, right? Avoid repeating words. So, and topic related words should be used. The grammatical range, which means spellings should be correct, verb and agreement should be there. For example, I have, not I has. She has, not she have. So there should be subject verb agreement, and also variety of sentences, different types of sentences, which include what? Simple, complex, compound, complex compound, varieties of sentences, conditional sentences. You need to learn them, practice them, and use them. And you need to complete your task within 40 minutes. Now, these are the criteria. Now, this is your homework, everybody. please write it and then post it in the comment box when I'll upload this video on my YouTube. Please write it there also. You can watch it again to know what you have missed, and then you can write this essay. If you write it, we can talk about it later, or I'll comment on your writing afterwards. Thank you very much, everybody. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel when I upload on my YouTube, and like, also comment as well. If you have any suggestion, you're most welcome. If you have any question, you are more than welcome. Right? First, I'll answer all your questions related to this topic. Once your questions are over related to essay writing, then I'll stop this video and then I can talk to you about anything that you want related to IELTS in general. All right, thank you so much, guys. So let's put this on stop, and then we can have any discussion that you want. If you have any questions, I can answer. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.